been up to since
Well,
the lockdown?
Well, I've been mostly busy indoor, reading books and doing exercise, different form of exercises. And I've been busy with my trainer. I try to catch up on reading too, because there are a lot of books that one can read for self-improvement.
Okay, sir. How do you take the whole COVID-19 wahala? How do you say it, sir? The whole crisis?
Well, going religious, I think, and all other things have been suspended for now. This is not the time to think about making money. This is the time to think about giving more. It has drained my pocket, to be honest with you, because during this COVID, you have to reach out to almost everybody.
Yeah.
Including people that you never thought will ever need support from someone like you. Everybody is reaching out for support one way or the other. And glory be to God, we've been able to be helpful to quite a number of people, both individual and institutions.
I was going to ask, what have you been doing, sir, since you came back from your last posting as High Commissioner? What have you? I know you've been involved in. I know you've been involved in politics. What have you been doing, sir?
Don't forget that after that, I went back to school. I got a degree in history. Yes, from Ogutop University in Atlanta, Georgia. In Atlanta, Georgia. It's a private university in Atlanta. Yes, Ogutop. I got a degree there in history. And since I came back, though we have been low-key, but we have achieved a lot. I don't want to beat my drums on television. I don't want to beat my drums on television, but God has been very kind to me, business-wise, on a personal level, and otherwise. Almighty God has been very kind. I want to acknowledge that, the grace of Almighty. I cannot deny that. But other than that, let us just leave it at that. We are doing well in terms of political front, business front, and otherwise. To God be the glory.
How do you? To God be the glory.
What I'm saying is that my success must be attributed to my parents, my dad and my mom. So I can now also claim some measure of success in life. I haven't seen my own children accomplished. But you cannot say that unless God granted you that grace. And that grace has been granted, and I'm happy.
Were you the one that decided that he should go into politics, or you encouraged him to?
Oh, no. I don't dictate to my kids. I allow them to flow with their skills. I allow them to flow with their skills or their interest. You see, there are things that you cannot force. When we were growing up, our parents wanted us to be lawyers, doctors, and what have you. And a lot of children were misled because some couldn't cope with the pressure put on them by their parents. In my own case, my father died very early. My mother wanted me to be educated, but being an illiterate, she doesn't have a clue in terms of which profession I should follow. So I had the latitude to do whatever I wanted. And today I am happy that I chose what I did. In the case of my own children, I refused to impose anything on them. I allowed them to follow whatever interest they have. And it has worked very well for me. We have one that is a petroleum engineer. Jide, by profession, studied public administration. He has a master's in public administration, so he's into politics. Then my daughter, she is an accountant, working with one, she used to work with State Department as an auditor, but now she's working with a private firm in Boston. And I have another daughter who is studying theater arts at New York University. And then I have another one that wants to be a criminologist. She's in Pittsburgh University. So God has been very kind. But I did not dictate to them precisely what they should do. They chose what they wanted and they pursued it, and some are still pursuing theirs.
I've noticed that over a period of time, sir, you've been you keep looking younger and younger and younger every day, and I'm wondering what's the secret? I mean, you always look trim and athletic.
I really don't want this network disconnected. Otherwise, I would have gone to my basement and show you my gym. You see how busy it is in my gym. Then you will know that that is responsible for my look. My gym is well kitted, and I don't joke with it. I also have a trainer that comes around every week. You see, we are a product of our intake and the choices that we make. It takes a lot of discipline to get to this level, I'll be honest with you. Because locking yourself up in the gym, doing 2 hours, sometimes 2.5 hours, and then you have a trainer come in and take you out of your usual regime or your comfort zone, working out. It's not easy because the trainers will always push you beyond your limit, and that can be quite stressful physically. So, and the result is what you are saying. Unfortunately, you don't see what goes into it, but you are looking at the result. Oh, we thank God. That is the result of what I said, and I'm very particular about my intake. As I speak to you now, I have come up with my own eba. I grind broccoli, beetroot, cauliflower. I always grind them together and add a little bit of psyllium, which is a fiber, to make it look for fermentation. So that is my own eba. I hardly take raw gari. But don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with gari if taken in moderation. So what I always do when I'm doing my own eba, I sprinkle a little bit of gari to it so I can give you some flavor. But actually, the bulk of what I'm taking is vegetable. All that helps. There is no way you will put on unnecessary weight. And I rely also a lot on some supplements. Because you know that as you age, digestion becomes an issue. So you need some digestive enzymes that will help balance your internal digestion. So all that, you know, it takes a lot. It's not just about exercise alone. There are other lifestyle that you must inculcate for you to have the kind of appearance that I want to thank you for celebrating that appearance. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir.
Or for calling it out.
Okay, sir. How do you see the political situation in the country today, sir? As a politician, as somebody who has been watching.
Well, as a politician, to be honest with you, the political terrain is very fluid. It's very fluid. It's very fluid. But one thing that I'm happy about is that we are beginning to look like a two-party state society. That is what IBB tried to achieve during his era, which unfortunately was aborted. But now it is evident that Nigeria is a two-party country. So I think what we need to do is to strengthen that. All of us, some of us who are in position of power today, should not see opposition as irritants. When you are in a plural society, it behoves anybody in power to strengthen opposition, protect opposition. Because once there is no opposition, then you have no polarity. There's no plurality. So that I cherish, and that I must commend all of